welcome to another episode in a sleep-deprived college student attempts to explain Arabic grammar. And today, in episode 2, we'll be discussing definite and indefinite nouns and adjectives and forming simple nominal sentences. Nominal sentences are going to be a core part in your Arabic grammar, so we might as well go over it. In Arabic, there are two different types of sentences: nominal and verbal. Nominal sentences are going to be sentences that start with nouns, and we're going to be learning how to make those sentences. The bare bones of these sentences. And of course, your own presenter is the one and only Calvin Tong. So, what's up? What's up, y'all? So, definite and indefinite nouns. Let's talk about what a noun is first before we talk about definiteness. A noun is a person, place, or thing. An animal or an idea as well. So, anything that you can point out and that there's a name for is a noun. And in fact, in Arabic, a noun is called an ism, which is literally translates to a name. So there are two types of nouns, definite and indefinite. Definite nouns in Arabic refer to one certain specific thing. And in English, this is the word the, right? When you say the piano, you're being specific about what piano you're talking about, or the house, or the television, right? So the example I've written here is el baytu, which means the house, right? The house. It refers to that specific house. That house we're talking about. El baytu. And don't worry, if you see these words that are unfamiliar to you, don't worry. We'll see the vocabulary later. We'll see what the vocabulary is, and I'll give you time to recognize those. And just for me being nice to you, I will read out each word. I'll read out each word so you know what it should sound like in the Arabic. So you have some time to practice on reading more Arabic. So yeah, el baytu is the house. Indefinite nouns are nouns that refer to a thing in general. So it's just anything. It could be anything, just as long as it's that thing itself. In English, this is indicated by the article a. So we have the and a. And so a house would be baytun. So we have baytun, a house, and el baytu, the house. So if you look at the differences between these two, you probably already see the biggest difference here is that the house in Arabic, it automatically has this alif lam connection. Well, this alif lam is the word al. Al means the word the, and this is called a definite article. So this is literally the English the. And in vocalized Arabic, which we'll talk about more later, but we're not going to be so concerned about until we get into the next episode, future episodes where we talk about nominative, accusative, and genitive. We have lasimnation, which basically means we're not saying el baytun, we say el baytu. And in Arabic, nominative nouns will have the final vowel u implicitly written on it. I wrote all the vowel markings just because hey, we're just starting to learn Arabic, right? So we should probably have vowel markings to help you read out stuff. So yeah, last in the nation. So we have this kasra al baytu. However, in a house we have al baytun. Remember, this has the nation. So the nation automatically gives you an idea of whether the noun is definite or indefinite. But since we have al here, it doesn't really matter. But in classical Arabic or Quranic Arabic, you will see this final vowel u every time when it comes to nominative. Of course, we'll talk more about it later. So, and oftentimes you can omit this vowel in colloquial speech. In colloquial speech, which by colloquial I mean if you were to talk to someone in modern standard Arabic, you're still going to have al in front of your definite noun, but you're going to have the vowel removed at the end. This final vowel we'll talk about later, but but you will need to know the specifics of what vowel, because what vowel you have at the end of nouns determines the case, which we'll talk about more later. So if for some reason you see a noun or you see a noun in your vocabulary has un, it ends with un every time, you can omit un entirely, because as it's written here, it's we already know, and it's probably too redundant to say baitun baitun all the time, al babun al qadimu. Like, it sounds very poetic, right? And which is actually it. The final vowel is mainly used in poetic stuff, or in the Quran, or in very old Arabic texts. So you won't really need this ending vowel. And when you drop the final vowel, it's called unvocalizing. Conversely, if you insert the vowels at the end, it's called vocalizing it. But which we're not going to do until we hit probably episode 3 or 4. I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, I don't have an entire big schedule on this yet. But we will talk about that later in the future when we talk about nominative, accusative, and the genitive. Comes to the pronouncing L, there's actually a little rule right here. So as you see here, we have sun letters, al-huruf al-shamsiyya, and then we have moon letters, al-huruf al-qamariyya. And you might be wondering, okay, why do I need to know what a sun letter and a moon letter is? Well, in Arabic, it kind of matters because there's a little pronunciation rule that goes a little something like sun letters outshining or assimilating is the actual formal word, but I just say outshining because that's what it is. It literally shines out al, an indefinite article, al. So the definite article is al, and then if your noun starts with any of these letters, ta, tha, dal, zal, dal, dhar, ra, zai, shin, sin, sad, dod, tod, zod, lam, and noon, is going to absolutely shine out that lam. And again, this is not really something you have to be so concerned about, but a lot of grammar books do talk about it, so I want to bring it up here if you ever see it in Arabic. And this is what the rule means. Let's illustrate with some examples here. So this rule states that if your noun begins with a sun letter, the lam is silent, and that sun letter is doubled. So this doubling diacritic, you actually don't really need it, but I wrote it just so you know that, okay, this lam at the end is going to be silent. So let's try pronouncing these words in the leftmost column right here. Al is not al rajul, is ar rajul. You double the ra, and you make this lam silent. And I made it gray. I grayed it out just to let you know, okay, you're making lam silent. And you should not really expect any markings on top of lam. Just ar-rajul. And then that's the man in Arabic. And then when you want to say, oh, the street, it's asharia. Notice I'm saying asharia, not al-sharia. It's asharia. And this happens because it's as you speak quickly in Arabic, you're going to want to use this doubling, this outshining rule to help you out. And however, when we look at the converse case with moon letters don't affect anything, right? We have al-bait, not abait, al-bait, because it's a moon letter, so it doesn't change anything. And you might be wondering, Calvin, how am I going to memorize all of these sun letters? Well, typically you don't really do have to. Typically we have this doubling diacritic to give you a little reminder of the rule. It's because you're doubling it. You're canceling out lam, and to make up for it, you double that letter. So asharia, al-rajul, al-bait, al-nahr, the river. And so have that in mind. Now, adjectives. Adjectives are describers of the noun. They describe the noun, they give qualities to the noun, they give a specific trait about that noun. So let's see some examples here. We have El Beit As-Saghir, the small house. El Nahr At-Tawil, Al-Tawil, the long river. Walad Hassan, a handsome boy. And Bab Qadim, an old door. So already, if you made the realization, adjectives come after the noun. After the noun. Almost every time. Every time. You have the noun and you have specific traits that describe the house or describe the noun after it. This is an adjective. Adjectives give traits, so it comes after. And if you noticed already, these phrases are nominal phrases. Nominal phrases. And again, if you're unfamiliar with these words, absolutely do not worry. These words are in our vocabulary, and we'll go over those later. So this is a nominal phrase formed by agreement. And agreement means that the adjective follows the traits of the noun. The adjective mimics the noun to indicate that they're part of one united idea. So it's like it's not house small, it's the small house, right? And one of the ways that we have agreement is agreement by definiteness, which means that in order, if your noun has al on it, your adjective must also have al on it to be united. So we have al nahr at-tawil, right? Both words have al on it. So this noun and adjective is united under one thing, the long river. Also, similarly, al bayt as-saghir, we have this al thing that joins it together. Similarly, I didn't draw an arrow here, but if your noun does not have al, if it's indefinite, your adjective must also be indefinite. So bab qadim, walad Hassan, right? So the fact that the things are united by definiteness. And when you unite them to one thing, they're not just words. There's now a phrase. Words build together to make phrases, right? So when you have this commonality, this commonality, this trait automatically tells you, hey, this is one whole entire phrase. What if in the case that there's no agreement? Because it is possible. It is possible when you just have al bayt saghir and an al nahr tawil. It does happen. But what does it mean? Well, it means an entirely different thing. If you rip off al from this adjectives here, you separate them both. You don't have al uniting these words anymore. You have two separate ideas. You have two separate ideas in your sentences. So al bayt is one thing, and saghir is another thing. Al nahr is one thing, and tawil is another thing. They're separated. What are they separated by? By the fact that they're not agreeing with each other, the fact that they don't have any common elements about each other. So they're separate ideas. And with that, you just made a sentence. We just made sentences. Sentences are made by definiteness, differences. Differences and definiteness gives us sentences. In Arabic, there's no such thing as to be or is. Well, not at least in the English sense. There is a verb for to be, but we'll talk about that later. So already, we have subject, predicate. Subject, predicate. You already have those implied. Just by the loss of al for these. And of course, this means the house is small. Bayt is the house. Saghir is small. So the house, small, literally in English. The house, small. And then the house is small, right? The house is small. And al nahr tawil is the river is long. The river is long. Instead of saying at tawil, we just say tawil. That means the river is long. And of course, multiple adjectives can qualify a noun. But remember, when you have the case of a nominal sentence, you have to add wa, and wa means and. So let's see what we have here. So we have al-bayt al-jamil al-jadid. So al-bayt is the house, jamil means beautiful, and jadid means new. That's what these words mean. So if we notice here, we have a beautiful and new house, and the house is new and beautiful. Notice the agreement that happens when you have, even if you have two adjectives, if you want to put them into one whole complicated phrase, which you can, you have to unite them by you have to make them united somewhat by this al right here, and of course we don't have any we have a lack of al, so technically we're separating them both, and we're separating them both with subject and predicate. Al bayt, the house, jamil wa jadid. Oh, I've actually flipped up the words here, but al jamil is beautiful, and wa jadid is and new. So have that in mind. Even if you have multiple adjectives, you have to pay attention. You gotta pay attention to the agreements here. Agreement is probably gonna be a big thing when covering the homework that we're gonna do a little bit later. And then let's talk about single personal pronouns in Arabic. So let's go over them. So I or me is ana. You is anta and anti. However, here's the difference right here. Anta is you masculine. Anti is you feminine, right? So this is I, you, and then how do we say he and she in Arabic? So huwa is he, hiya is she. I'm sorry, folks. There is no gender neutral pronoun in Arabic. There's just not. I'm sorry. There's just not. So if you don't know what first person, second person, third person is, just think. First person refers to I or me. Second person refers to you. And the third person refers to another thing that you're talking about. He, she, it, they, whatever, right? So first person's always going to be the speaker, and which is going to be you speaking Arabic. So I. The second person is always the listener. And then the third person is the object of discussion. Third person, he, she, it, they. If you don't know what the persons are in Arabic. And with that, we can get to our vocabulary. And as I mentioned a little earlier, since I'm going to be a little nice to you guys today, we're going to do another exercise of reading each word in Arabic, just so we have an idea of the vocabulary, and then we'll translate. And we'll translate a little bit later. So take the time to pause these words and of course the book that I got these from. Remember, I cited the book at the first episode. They were kind enough to provide how do you say, like romanizations, transliterations, and whatnot, and it's good enough. It's fine, but again, we want to be, and so have a good grasp of these words and whatnot. Pause if you want to, and use these as a supplement to your Arabic courses or Arabic material. I'm going to omit the uns mentioned here. You see because is just that final vowel. I'm gonna unvocalize it. You hear? So we're gonna go with it. So bab, a door or a chapter. Bait is a house. Rajul is a man. Walad is a boy. Nahr is a river. Bahr is a sea. Kitab is a book. Sharia is a street. Kursi is a chair. Shay is tea. Qahwa is coffee. Finjan is a cup. Al-Nil is the Nile. Kabir is big or great or old. This is an adjective right here. Saghir is small or young. Qadim is old. Jadid is new. Tawil is long or tall. Qasir is short. Jamil is beautiful. Hassan is handsome, or also it's a name, Hassan. Hassan. Maksur is broken, and wasi'a is wide, and dhaik is narrow. So I'm not going to use all these words here, but have an idea what these words are so that we can go to the homework. So here are the questions I have right here, or the sentences I have right. I decided to not type in the vowelings because I got a little too lazy, but because I'm not really used to typing in Arabic as much. But here, take a look here and try copying them out, and then I'm going to be writing the answers and how I got to those answers in a different kind of screen, or I'm gonna be writing everything. It's gonna be like a whiteboard right here. So get ready for it. So pause, do the work on your own. Pause and then check your answers, and let's see if our answers match. If they do, congratulations, you are ready for the next one. And I want to talk a little bit more about this one, number 5 right here. Let's do it. So we are going to be in this little thing, this little remarkable tablet here. I managed to find a way to share the screen, so we're gonna go crazy. So let's start with number 1. What's number 1? So number 1 is Al-Nil Nahr. Oh, sorry. I write pretty horribly in Arabic, but yeah, so forgive my penmanship. Wa wasa wa tawil. I gave you the vocabulary, which basically presumes that you already know the vowelings, but if you don't, don't worry, no worries. I'll write it right here. Tawil. So let's write out our work in red. So first off, what do we see here? We see el, we see some sort of definiteness, we see definite noun, and then indefinite here, indefinite, right? So what does that mean? We already have a nominal sentence right here. We have a nominal sentence where we're separating both the subject and the predicate. That should be clear from the beginning. I was like, if that's the first thing that you see, good job. That's really good. So now, El Nil is the Nile. Is inferred, remember? It's inferred. And then Nahr is river. Nahr is river. Wasi'a is wide. And then Watawil is in long. Then remember this wa means and. So straightforward. Is a wide and long river. So that is number 1. That is number 1. So if you got that one right, good job. Oh, sorry, it's kind of glitching out a little bit, but all right, whatever. All right, now we're at number 2. Number 2 is Ana Hassan wa anta Jamil. Oh, so wait. Let's write that a little bit better, shall we? Jamil, like this. And for the sake of this, let's actually vocalize the entire thing. So we have Anna Hassan wa anta Jamilun. Now Hassanun. This is if you want it vocalized. Again, it's not really gonna matter, but this is what it looks like. So we can basically do a word for word translation practically. I'm gonna show red right here just to indicate. So we have this kind of situation, and then this wa is the connection. So these are kind of the separations that you kind of can see right here. So Anna is I. Remember our our personal pronouns. We did masculine and feminine. Ana is going to refer to both. Anta for masculine. Remember, anta for the masculine. But it's anti for the feminine. And then hua and hia. Hua and hia. Right? Hua, hia. All right. So we can directly translate this, right? Hassan. Ana is I. Hassan is handsome, right? Wa and you. Anta. Or did I write? Sorry. The question was anti. Sorry. Anti. Jamil. Jamil is beautiful, right? Jamil is beautiful from your vocabulary. So we can translate this as I am handsome, right? And you are beautiful. You can leave this right here. Call it a day. Since we're saying anti is it'll be female. So I am handsome and you're beautiful is the answer for number 2. All right. So let's get on with number 3. Don't mind the glitch. Don't mind the weird glitching. It's just me moving the screen around. All right. We have el bait. El bait. Jadid. And if you are not sure of the vowels, I'll write them out for you. Al bait. Al baitu. Jadidun. All right. And I notice I have jadidun because I want to talk about something. Talk about something that we have talked about a little bit in the past. So we have al and u and un. So we have loss of the nation, and al right here. And this al is going to indicate definiteness, right? And then jadid is going to be the indefinite. So what does that mean? We have a separation right here, right? We have a separation right here. I'm drawing these lines similar to the slide so they can help you out in knowing about what this means. So al-bayt is the house, and then jadidun or jadid was new. So the answer or the translation is the house is new. And I get that you don't. Some people may like translations, some people don't. But like sometimes translations are a good way to help you like be able to piece out and organize these things in Arabic. And don't worry, I'll introduce different exercises, different boring textbook. They're not going to be boring. I don't want them to be boring, but they're going to be textbook exercises that will drill in these concepts in your head. So yeah. And be sure you know the vocabulary as well. All right. So the house is new, is that one. So now we got number 4. Finjan. Maksud. All right. So first off, let's vocalize everything. Finjanun maksudun. All right. So let's switch to red. So we have finjan, maksud. All right. And notice both are indefinite. So this is a nominal phrase, right? This is a nominal phrase as we noted earlier. So this is not going to be a sentence. It's going to be united under one thing because we have indefiniteness. Indefinite. How can we tell? The nation. We have un instead of u. And now, finjan, maksud. So finjan means cup. Maksud means broken. This is adjective. So this is a broken cup. A little side note, the broken cup is like another exercise. What is the broken cup? Well, the broken cup would be el finjan al-maksud, right? El-finjan al-maksud. And notice, and also to vocalize the entire thing الفنجان المكسور. Right? الفنجان المكسور. Remember, for now, we're all Arabic nouns are going to end with a u or un as vowels until further notice. But oftentimes, u and un are not even pronounced at all. So notice that the broken cup, we still have a case of definiteness. Al, and al. Remember, they're both definite. So that's why they're all united under one thing. All right. With that, let's go to number 5. Number 5 may have stumped you guys a little bit, but we're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over it. الكتاب جديد. And then period. هو جميل. And give you some time. Oh, let me actually put the. I'm gonna write this back closer to the actual word here. All right, and just to keep things consistent here, here is what it looks like when it's fully vocalized. Huwa jamilun, jamilun al-kitabu jadidun. All right, here's what it looks like when it's fully vocalized. All right, now what do we have here? Well, we have a notice of subject and predicate, right? We have al-kitab, but we have definite and indefinite. So these don't agree. These are two different sentences, subject, predicate. So this first sentence is al-kitab, so it's the book, right? The book, and jadid is new. So the book is new. Give yourself half credit if you nailed out that part. And now, huwa jamil. Huwa is a third person pronoun, right? Third person pronoun. So huwa can mean he. So can it be he is beautiful? Can it be he is beautiful? Well, not exactly. Not exactly. Rather, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Why is it is beautiful? Well, because in English nouns don't have gender, but in Arabic, all nouns have gender. And there's two genders, masculine and feminine. In Arabic, masculine or feminine. All nouns have gender in Arabic. And we will discuss this in the next episode. So don't worry if this stumped you as well. We're going to go over this in much more detail later. But huwa refers, I'm going to slap this in a different color, blue. I don't have a lot of colors here in this remarkable. So huwa refers to al-kitab. Huwa refers to al-kitab because al-kitab is actually masculine. So if this huwa is masculine, these are connected as well in terms of meaning. Huwa refers to kitab. It's just a replacement for it, right? That's what pronouns do. They replace nouns. That is the only purpose of pronouns, actually, is to replace nouns. So you don't have to say the noun name over and over again. You already have a shortcut. Well, you already have a shortcut informed by context. Huwa is he, or third person pronoun, third person masculine pronoun, singular pronoun. So al-kitab refers to al-kitab because al-kitab is masculine. Don't worry, we'll go more on gender later. All right, let's go to the last one, and we'll call it a day. Okay, this is. Yeah, I should have really taken the liberty to write sentences in more vocabulary as possible. But as a challenge, as like a little bonus, make different combinations. Or make different nominal phrases or sentences based on the vocabulary that you already have now. All right, so now we have Beit Jadid. Beit jadid. So to vocalize everything, beit, beitun. Sorry, I keep forgetting to put the dot here for some reason. Jadidun. So notice this is a nominal phrase. This is not nominal. Nominal phrase. Remember, because we have indefinite. The nation, right? The nation. Indefinite. So now we have united. We have a united nominal phrase. A nominal phrase that unites it. Beit is house, right? Beit is house. And then jadid is new. Since it's indefinite, we say a new house. So this is that. Not a whole sentence, but it's a phrase. A new house. So yeah. So that is it for episode 2. Shukran. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching episode 2. And see ya in episode 3 where we talk about gender. Bye.